ahead and get started. And we go ahead and go to the next slide. And so thank you for joining this webinar. This is for the information technology programs. My name is Bill Riles. I'm the Associate Director and one of your professors in the program once you get started. And I'm excited to serve as one of the hosts for today's event. And I just want to say thank you for joining us. We're going to have an informative session and hopefully answer a lot of your questions, during this webinar. And most importantly, we want this to be as interactive as possible. It's not beneficial. We got some slides we're going to cover, but it's more beneficial for if you got a question, just stop and interrupt. Don't worry about. You can use the raise hand function in Zoom, or you could just unmute yourself and just throw out a. Don't worry about interrupting me as we're talking, myself or my colleague Dan. We would love to stop and take this conversation in today's webinar in any direction you guys would want to go. So we want this to be interactive as possible. You can just unmute yourself, ask a question. You can use the raise hand function in Zoom, or you can just use the chat function in Zoom as well. You can just type whatever you want into the chat function, and we'll address those questions or comments as we go through this. So, but we look forward to hearing from you, and you don't have to wait to the end to ask your question. You can ask your question along the way as we start going. All right, and as you see on the screen here, joining me today is my colleague, Dan Rahe. He would be one of your academic advisors to help you enroll and get started and work your way through the program. We're going to hear more from Dan a little bit later. So let's talk about the School of Professional Advancement. So let's go ahead and move forward, Dan, if you don't mind. So SoPA, you hear this term a lot. SoPA, that's the School of Professional Advancement. And you may be familiar with Tulane. I mean, that's a pretty common name, you're in a popular name, but you may not know some of the history. One of the things that I think is important that I like to share with new students is that our school actually goes back a very long time. Our school, SoPA, the School of Professional Advancement, focuses on education of working adults and applied learning. And we're highly diverse. We have students ranging from 17 to 77. And like I said, our history actually goes back pretty far. The university was founded in 1834, and the predecessor to SoPA was formed a little bit later in 1886. And it started as an outreach division with a mission to offering classes to teachers, working adults, things like that. Ever since then, it's been through various iterations of the school. It was named at University College in 1942. And after Hurricane Katrina, it was named the School of Continuing Studies. And most recently, in 2017, in its current iteration, it was changed to SoPA, the School of Professional Advancement. And something I find interesting is that Tulane is quite unique as far as elite private universities like Tulane having this type of long-term commitment towards applied learning in working adults relevant to the workplace. Applied skills is relevant to skills you can take as soon as you graduate, go right to work. So we asked the question, why SoPA? So we move forward a little bit. What do we do that's a little bit different? There's a lot of options out there for higher education. There's a lot of universities, a lot of colleges, and we want you to be as informed as possible. So why choose SoPA? Well, one thing you see there on the screen is depth and online. A lot of our courses are offered online. And the thing about it is we've been doing online well before the pandemic. A lot of universities started doing online classes in response to the COVID pandemic, but we've been experts in that way before online became cool. And we've got expert instructional designers, graphic designers, subject matter experts, and faculty that are specifically trained in online education. But not only all of our classes are online, we still have traditional on-ground classes in our beautiful campus as well. And I mentioned faculty earlier. We have an expert faculty. I'll talk about them a little bit later. And our programs are purposely built for the cybersecurity and technology industry. Like I said, when you graduate, we expect you to have the skills needed to go straight into the job, hands on the keyboard, and you work on real technologies. You're not just going to be writing a paper about the technology and understanding the theory. You may do some of that, but you'll also be working on the actual technology, the actual tools that you'll see in the workplace that employers are wanting to have for you as a candidate into the workforce. Our student support, Dan's going to talk about that just a little bit. You're not just thrown into a classroom and expected to do your best. You're going to become part of the Tulane family, and you're going to have all the support in the world, and it's unmatched. entire plethora of services to help you become successful in not only your coursework, making the best grades possible, getting you to graduation, but also leading into your career in technology and cybersecurity. And believe it or not, it's affordable and we're flexible. You may be aware that Tulane is a elite private university. It's one of the top 50 in the nation. But going through Tulane SoPA is actually very affordable. And there's also some scholarship opportunities as well. And I mentioned online classes. We strive to make your experience as flexible as possible because we know everyone is working adults. We don't tie you down to the number of classes, and you can take some online classes, you can take some on ground classes, you can take more or less in a semester. We try to meet you where you are to help open your doors for your education and your professional career. So let's move on just a little bit here. I mentioned earlier, we have online classes and in person. We try, remember, this is your program for you. The undergraduate program, undergraduate classes, that we have classes in our beautiful campus, both uptown and Elmwood, in person, one-on-one with the instructor. And our graduate classes are all 100% online. And I'm talking about, let's go into that a little bit. So let's move on to the next slide. So our online classes, these are real, even though you may have taken an online class in the past, our online classes are not what you've expected, what maybe something you've seen in the past. They have evolved. You have real interaction with your expert faculty professors. Myself and most of my other faculty colleagues will be your instructors. And this is not the same online classes you've experienced. I've had attended classes as a working adult. I know how challenging it is to balance, work, life, job, everything full time, and including that going to school as well. It wasn't until I was in my late 30s and working on my first graduate degree that I truly learned about taking classes, and the value I got out of them, and how it could directly apply to what I was learning in my career in daily life. And all this is kind of built into some of these things that you see on the screen here. This SoPA difference, I mentioned we're affordable, and I'm gonna tell you about our program just a little bit. We've got all these labs, and we've got a mentorship program, and our faculty are technology executives. I'm gonna cover that in just a second. These aren't just academic professors that has been doing nothing but academia and writing a bunch of papers. They're previous chief information officers, chief technology officers that have done this in the real world, been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. And but they also have advanced degrees, and they want to give that learning back to you as students to progress into your career. And when we built this program, we consulted. This program was completely refreshed a few years ago, and is fully accredited by ABIT, NSA, Center of Academic Excellence, and all the other things. It really doesn't matter to you. But when we built it, what does matter is that we consulted our current students, we consulted alumni, students who have graduated, we consulted faculty, and most importantly, we consulted our industry advisory board. These are your top level executives that will hire graduates into the workforce. And we consulted them with, like, what do we need to offer? What does our program need to cover? What curriculum, what classes, what labs? And we built everything around that. And that's kind of gives you what we have today. This is a combination of an applied curriculum with real world skills, along with the academic rigor that leads you to a certification, a industry certification like CompTIA, AWS, Microsoft, Certified Ethical Hacker, all the certifications that people in technology want. It will lead to that as real world college credit, but it will also lead to a degree as well, a globally recognized college degree from Tulane University. So let's talk about some of these programs a little bit. So let's kind of move forward. First thing, we got multiple programs, and we're going to talk about the bachelor's degree first. This is the undergraduate program, and you have choices. You could just take the program and just major in information technology. At the end of your study, you'll get a degree in information technology, but we also offer you the opportunity to specialize in some concentrations, like you see on the screen, in application development, product and program support, enterprise systems and cloud, and cybersecurity, things like that. And there's also an accelerated master's degree program. So if you're a good student, if you have a good GPA, and you're also considering getting a master's degree as well, there's an option to do an accelerated program. So your final year of your undergraduate, your bachelor's degree can double up, and you can also take master's level classes at the undergraduate rate, and it will allow you to get your master's degree in 1 year versus 2. So that's a very exciting option. So let's talk about our graduate degree. We got two choices here, two different graduate degrees. There's a Master of Science in Information Technology Management, and also a Master of Science in Cybersecurity Management. And there's some overlap, and you see in the sub bullets there's some concentrations. You can get a Master of Science in Information Technology Management with a concentration in cybersecurity, or a concentration in emergency operations or homeland security, and the same thing for cybersecurity management. Now notice this, these are management degrees. So yes, both degrees are technical. Both degrees you're going to in the management, in the master's degree and the graduate degree programs, there's going to be some technical stuff to it. There's going to be some where you turn the nerd knobs and you learn all the technical options that are out there and working with technology and labs, but it's geared towards more management, setting you up to be a leader in the field, a manager or a director. And we'll talk about that in just a second. The master's degree, both of these master's degrees, in order to obtain them, the Master of Science in IT Management is 10 courses or 30 credit hours. There's 7 core classes that everybody takes, and you pick your 3 electives. And your 3 electives will help you if you want to go towards one of these concentrations. Now, the Cybersecurity Management, it's 11 courses, not 10 courses, for 33 credit hours. And it's 8 core classes plus those 3 electives. If you're not quite ready for a full master's degree, we have this option for a graduate certificate as well. You can see the list of certificates we have: cyber defense, cyber leadership, strategic planning, technology, and even a new one we just added, data science and cloud. Now, what these certificates do, if you're not really ready to kind of take the initiative or even the dedication and everything you need for a 2-year master's degree, you can just get started just with one of these certificates. These will be a full Tulane certificate, and you can put it on your resume. You'll get a graduate certificate in one of these options, say cyber defense. And sometimes that's enough. If you just want to shore up some of this knowledge that you say you're in the field already, and you just want to get a little bit further up, shore up some of your knowledge on cyber defense or technology architecture or data science, something like that, you can take one of these certificates, and that may be enough. But the cool thing about it is that these are also stackable. So if you complete one of these certificates, then you decide, you know what, I think I want to go for my full master's degree. The courses that you take in these certificates can be applied to your full master's degree. So you don't have to start back over if you want to. This is a good starting point, and then use that to build upon and take your. A lot of our students who graduate with their master's degree end up having at least 1 or sometimes 2 of these certificates when they graduate, along with professional certifications as well. Now, to get into one of the graduate certificates or the graduate degree programs, there is some prerequisites to apply. You have to have an undergraduate degree in technology, or you have to have a significant experience in technology or cybersecurity. But you may be thinking, well, I don't have that. Well, that's okay. We have a path for you. There's a certificate. If you don't have the experience, if you don't have an undergraduate degree in technology, you can use this bridge program. This is a Cyber Fundamentals Graduate Certificate. Now, what it does is 6 courses, and you take those 6 courses, and it kind of gives you a wide breadth and depth of everything technology and cybersecurity. And that alone sometimes is a career-changing move. You can take that and go forth into the field and get some good employment and let that be your career-changing mode into cybersecurity and technology. But also the key thing about that is, if you pass and achieve the certificate, that will guarantee you automatic acceptance into one of our graduate programs. So if you don't have the IT background, or you don't have an undergraduate degree in technology, you take this certificate. Once you get this certificate, then you're automatically accepted. And it is, it's hard to get accepted into one of our management of IT or management of cybersecurity graduate programs, but this certificate will guarantee you that acceptance. All right, let's move forward just a little bit. Let's talk. I mentioned earlier our faculty. You can, this is just I invite you, there's a website right up there, sopa.tulane.edu, about SoPA, advisors, faculty, and staff. I invite you to go to that page because you can see a list of all our program faculty, and you can click on each faculty and read the full bio. Here's just a small snippet of some of our expert faculty. You can see that they have real world jobs doing things in technology at a very high level today. And they're going to be one of your professors in your courses. So all of our professors, as I mentioned, they're been doing technology for large organizations, private and government as well. And they also have a passion for teaching. They have advanced degrees, and they want to give this knowledge back to you. And that kind of ties the applied real world technology to your learning to go along with the traditional academic side of it as well. Let's talk about what this degree is going to do for you. What's some of our career options? So in the bachelor's degree, the undergraduate, you're looking at technical roles like you'll see on the screen: cybersecurity engineers, application developers, depending on what your concentration level, network administrators, database systems analysts, cloud engineers, DevOps, things like that. All of this is not an exhaustive list. You can look on any job board. The names of these job descriptions are continually changing and updating, but this kind of gives you an idea of what we're looking for. These are skills and jobs that are readily available and in high demand. So let's go ahead and move forward to on the master side is Master Science in IT and Master Science in Cybersecurity Management. We're looking at leaders. You can see the list there: directors, chief information officers, chief information security officers, things like that, enterprise architects, administrators, leader of teams, and leader of departments. So part of the management program of the graduate degrees are not only the technical side of the house, but also how to lead that department, how to do the budgeting, how to be a people manager, how to control, how to lead the whole area and move an organization forward into the future by using technology. All right, so let's see what we got next. All right, so I'm gonna hand it over to my colleague, Dan Rahe, to talk about how to get started and some of our exciting options.
All right, thank you, sir. Excuse me. Before I start, I just saw a question in there about whether we have rolling admission. Yes, we do, and we have admission every semester as well. So if you applied for admission, I can look into your application for you and shoot you an email to the address you used to apply and kind of give you an update. But I'll see what's going on with that once we get done here. So I'll take down your information. Actually, I'm going to type it in real quick right now. Okay, I do see that you applied for the fall semester. So I'll shoot you an email there, Jerry, and make sure that you're situated and everything with that. So, but yeah, I wanted to talk a little bit about credit for prior learning. So it's another option for students in our school, whether they are obtaining a bachelor's or a master's degree, to earn some additional credits to reduce the costs of, for tuition and all of those things. It's a way to just be able to earn additional credit towards your degree. There's a couple different ways to do it, but for the prior learning credit, one of the ways you can do it is to get your work experience evaluated via a portfolio assessment. That's where you sign up and take I believe 6 or 8 week portfolio development class. Shows you how to put together a portfolio of your previous work experience. So if you're already in IT and you want to, do one of our undergraduate or graduate degrees, and some of the courses are exactly what you've been doing for work already, for example, then you would be able to potentially go through the portfolio assessment process, where you would learn how to put a portfolio of all that work together that you've done, whether, in the classroom or certifications, training, work experience, whatever it may be. And you put together a portfolio. It's then reviewed by faculty of the corresponding department, if it's IT, if it's, any other kind of field like that. And then they'll then make a credit recommendation based on that. If you get a credit recommendation, then you'll pay a fraction of the tuition cost. So it's a way to save some money too. And especially if you already have experience in the field, then you can get some credit that way. You can get up to 24 hours that way as an undergraduate student. At the graduate level, you can get 6 credits. You can also get credit by examination at the undergraduate level. We offer some, well, we don't offer them, but you have the option to take CLEP and DSST exams through college level testing. Tulane accepts certain exams with certain scores. So if you're an undergraduate student and you need to knock out like some general requirements and whatnot, then you can potentially look into gaining some credit that way. Also, if you were in the military or you're a emergency first responder, then you can also obtain credits that way towards your degree in your program. Those are like 3 of the main ways to kind of get some credits in at a reduced cost, provided you have, the experience and background. And for the examination process, you just have to sit and you'll just need to sit and study up for the exam, give it a few weeks, and then go sign up for it. You do all that through college level testing, but whenever you're admitted and you want to talk to your advisor about, your transfer credits and all those kind of things, these all count towards transfer credits. So Tulane accepts up to 60 credits in transfer at the undergraduate level from all outside sources, which includes the portfolio assessment, CLEP, DSST exams, military, first responder, and anything like that. So if you're not capped out on that yet and you have some room to get some additional credits in, to knock some out real quick at a reduced cost, then the credit for prior learning is an option. Dr. Amr Basic is the director of that program. You would set up a meeting with her to see if you have the necessary background experience to be able to get that kind of credit, kind of like she does an initial screening. And then if that all works out, then you can start that process with her. If any of y'all do, like I said, just reach out to the academic advisor. I'm currently advising the undergraduate IT students. So I would be the advisor then that could then connect you with that person. Next slide. Yeah, so student support and success, that's when you become a Tulane student, we want to make sure that you have all the tools and necessary things to succeed while you are a student here. You'll have an academic advisor for whichever program you're admitted into. We are going to be there for you from the very beginning, from when you're admitted, to guide you and assist you any way possible from the beginning to the end with transfer credits, course selection, anything else in between. We're here to assist you, kind of we're your liaison, we're your go-to person that can assist you with just about everything. Financial aid is something you'll have a separate financial aid advisor for, and you'll need to speak to them directly about that. Academic advisors such as myself, we don't have any access to student financial aid information, so you'll have to set up that process. I know there are deadlines to submit your packets and everything, so you just got to make sure you get everything submitted on time, and then reach out to the financial aid office and get everything situated, accept the award, and all that kind of stuff. We already talked about the faculty with industry experience. They bring a lot of stuff directly from their work to their classrooms. I've had teachers hire my students before once they graduated. There's a lot of great networking opportunities in that sense. Dr. Wiles and Ralph have a lot of connections everywhere and are a good source of information and jobs and all those kind of things. And we also have a really good new career advisor. She just did a photo shoot. I forgot what they're called. When you get your pictures taken for like to put on your resume and stuff.
Headshots, Dan.
Headshots, yes. I don't know why it just totally slipped my mind, but we had like a big headshot thing yesterday. A whole bunch of students showed up. They all got dressed up all nice. We had a professional photographer from I think the medical school at Tulane come in, do headshots for the students, free of charge and everything. She'll work with you on networking, connections. She does resumes, mock interviews, just like all those things you can utilize while you're a student here. And then in addition to that, you'll have access to the Tulane library, the research library. If you're an online student, that's fine. You can access everything you need online. We also have an academic learning and tutoring center. If you need to touch up your writing skills, you'll be able to make appointments with folks in that department. Tutoring is available too for certain classes that you need to take towards your degree. This is all probably mostly more at the undergraduate level or so, but you know, kind of all the tools and things we want to provide, we are able to provide to you to ensure that, you know, you have a good time and are able to, you know, complete your program with us. So next slide. All right, so affordability and tuition, those are the tuition costs for the spring semester. I think they're right around the same for this upcoming summer semester. $596 a credit for undergrad, $1158 for grad. Each class is 3 credits. Financial aid, as I mentioned, we do offer financial aid for students who are in undergraduate degree-seeking programs, such as the Bachelor of Science in IT, also for the graduate programs and the graduate certificates. It just depends on your own personal history and if you've already received financial aid. And for graduate programs, I think it runs a little different, but you know, there are federal grants, federal loans. There's a yellow ribbon program. We have a discount for active duty military veterans. We have a lot of veterans in our school doing IT programs, Homeland Security programs. We have a minority serving institution scholarship, Phi Theta Kappa scholarship, and then the credit for prior learning that I mentioned is another way to kind of save money towards completion of one of our programs. Next slide. And the application process is pretty straightforward and simple. You go to our website, sopa.tulane.edu, and either hit apply or just type in /apply. Fill out the application. There's an application fee. It'll be waived for you for attending this webinar. We'll have the, you know, documentation of all the students that attended. So if you applied or if you've already applied, that fee will eventually be waived. If it's not for any reason, let us know. And then you're going to need to upload, you know, some kind of ID, driver's license, or anything to identify yourself, along with official transcripts from each prior institution that you attended. They have to be sent directly from institution to institution. If you have it, transcripts in a sealed envelope, then I believe admissions will accept those as well. But once you complete the application, upload the ID, the official transcripts are received. At the graduate level, I do think that some additional information is required, like a personal statement, maybe your resume with your, you know, work experience and things like that documented. And then, you know, you'll get a notification of admission essentially, and, you know, proceed accordingly from that. Next slide. Graduation, graduate. Okay, this is the graduate application part. So yeah, if you have a STEM degree or an IT degree from a regionally accredited undergraduate institution, or a Bachelor of Arts without a computing major, but you have necessary work experience, then that will suffice in lieu of, you know, the IT or STEM type background. GPA, we generally require a minimum 3.0 undergraduate GPA. We do not require the GRE, no testing scores required, but you do need to upload your resume or your CV. Next slide. So the deadlines for the applications, they're essentially about 2 to 3 weeks before the actual semester starts every semester. May 1st for summer is coming up. That's just the deadline to apply. If your transcripts and things like that trickle in a little after, that's fine. The semester starts around the 23rd or so of May. So as long as everything's in, an admissions decision can be made and all that stuff, then that's totally fine. And the same goes for the spring and for the fall. And then for each of those semesters, we have an early enrollment scholarship. So if you are admitted and registered for your classes by those dates, then you'll get a one-time scholarship credited to your account, which will help you also save some money on tuition. Next slide. All right. That'll about do it. I'm going to check the chats and see what I could answer there. I'll send it back to Dr. Riles.
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat too, Dan. We've got thank you, Ann, for answering the vast majority of all these questions from our international students that are joining us. That's awesome. I do see a couple that I want to address. One is let me, where did it go? I studied education in my undergraduate studies. Can I apply for a master's degree in cybersecurity? That depends. So, would you mind going back a couple slides, Ann? One more there. Okay, up, back forward one. No, there you go. All right, so this is the summary of the requirements to apply for a graduate degree in information technology or in cybersecurity. Your undergraduate degree must be in STEM or technology or cybersecurity or something like that. Or if you don't have that, as Dan mentioned, if you have a significant career experience in cybersecurity, we can take that in lieu. If you have neither an undergraduate degree or a career in technology, then the best option would be to apply for the bridge certificate that's I was explaining earlier. Is the Cyber Fundamentals Bridge Certificate certification. You take that, then you're automatically accepted into the graduate program, either technology or cybersecurity. And I think that Ann has answered all the other questions.
Gary, I'm going to get back to your admissions application. I'm going to take a look at that. I do see you've applied for the IT Strategic Planning Certificate. I see that we've received most of the transcripts. I'll see if there's anything else outstanding and I'll shoot you an email about it. We do accept unofficial transcripts and students can be conditionally admitted generally, but you're not going to be able to register for classes or do anything until we have your final official transcripts. And we do accept international students as well, as long as, you know, we don't provide a visa or anything like that, though. So if you have your own separate visa and are able to study here in the United States, then yes, you can definitely apply to the school and pursue one of our programs.
Okay, so is there any other questions, or you can come off mute and say them out loud, or put them in the chat?
I saw Tremaine just posted one. It's a traditional semester, 15-week semester. The spring semester runs from the middle of January till about the middle of first week of May or so. The summer semester, we have mini 6-week sessions at the undergraduate level only. There's 2 6-week mini sessions within the summer semester, and then there's also the full 13 or 14-week summer semester. So yeah, it is generally a traditional semester, definitely at the graduate program level, and at the undergraduate, there are a few mini sessions where you can take like some general requirement courses to knock some requirements out that way. Bill, I think the Gabrielle Anderson.
Yeah, I'll take that one, Dan. So absolutely. And so the answer would be yes. That's what the bridge certificate was made for, was career changers just like you, Gabrielle, that's got a degree in a non-technology discipline like social science or nursing. And this is a new thing. It's pretty exciting. Up until like last year, year and a half ago, we didn't have this bridge certificate. And unfortunately, we had to turn down a lot of students that were wanting to change careers into technology, want to get a master's degree. And because they didn't meet the requirements, we had to turn them down, and there was no place to go other than go back and take a whole nother bachelor's degree, undergraduate. But we got the university to approve this bridge certificate, and now it kind of jumpstarts you into that career changing mode into technology. And that's exactly what that program's for. Great questions. Anyone else have some questions? You can come off mute, you can ask it, or pop it into the chat. All right, so could you go to the last slide, Ann? I think it's got our contact information there. Yep, so that's our contact information, myself, my colleague, the program director, Ralph Russo. our email addresses. Take note of those. If you have any questions after this webinar, if you think of anything, feel free to reach out to us and shoot us an email. You can schedule some time with us one-on-one. We'll have a private Zoom session, and we'll happily talk to you and answer any questions that you have. If there's no other questions, I want to thank you for joining this webinar. I look forward to seeing you in class and being a part of the Tulane family. And and also I look most forward to seeing you walk across that graduation stage with that certificate or that diploma in your hand. I got one more question that popped in. Is the bridge certificate available during the summer? Yes, absolutely. We have classes for that bridge certificate on all 3 semesters: spring, summer, and fall. So you can get started in any semester. All right. I look forward to talking to everyone soon and seeing you in class. Man, thank you, everyone, and have a great rest of your day.